we're in an age where we're talking about the empowerment of women generally and thinking about where women belong in the world. You cannot level the playing field if you're not financially empowered.
Money is power, and power is key to gender equality. So we need to learn how to invest because we need to have money to have power.
I think having finances to invest is actually a key barrier. Clearly that's changing, and so I think that there'll be more and more interest as women earn more money and they have a much more of a kind of a say and a vested interest in where that money goes.
Really, I think the best way to start increasing your knowledge about investment and finance is just to think what matters to you personally, what your financial objectives and goals are, and whether investment will help you achieve those goals.
For me, it's about investing for my retirement, and I find it quite empowering to have control over how I invest and the potential that pot of money can provide.
When you do take the time to do a bit of reading and get to grips with this a bit more, you realise that actually it's not quite as hard as perhaps you thought it was. You can invest online now, you can see how your investments are performing, you can log in. My Smart Investor account's linked to my online banking, so it's as easy for me to invest as it is for me to move money into my savings account.
It's easier than I thought, much easier than I thought before I worked in the industry, and the reason is once you break through the overcomplicated, over-technical language that's used in the industry and demand to be spoken to in a language that you understand, it becomes far more accessible, far more understandable.
Women like to make a difference when they invest and give their money a purpose, and investing in ethical investing helps you do just that.
I think it makes sense for me, and it's intuitive to invest in companies that are doing good for society and the environment, and conversely I don't want to be invested in weapons manufacturers and tobacco companies and companies with poor business practices.
I think it's key to have responsibility of what you're investing in, and also it's very exciting, the idea that you can have an impact on the world around you.
For me it's really important that my personal values are reflected in my investment decisions.
We're looking to promote ethical investments. So you've got funds out there which do promote that type of investing. Typically for the most people who've got just a little bit to invest, a managed fund tends to be quite a good one to go for, which is accessible to all, and something like that is quite a good way of saving initially.
With men it's that thing of, oh, he's really ambitious, he's a go-getter, he's ruthless. Whereas with women it's like, oh, you can't keep a cool head for investments, which is just absolute nonsense. Needs to change.
We've done some research at Barclays amongst our own investment clients and found that actually the women produce better returns on average than the men because they take a sort of perhaps a less risky approach. They trade less frequently, they're in it for the long term, and actually it's reaping the benefits. So come on girls, let's get involved because you can do it, and it's not as complicated and as hard as perhaps you think it might be at the beginning.